Hello and welcome everybody to the Petty Crew Radio Show. I am your boy Boss Hog, host of the Petty Crew Radio Show. We're going to have a great show today. We have a very special guest, reggae artist all the way from Trinidad and Tobago. We have in the building, Gounzman. We're going to be holding a conversation with him. We're going to talk about his music and just get a little bit of history and culture about Trinidad and Tobago if you guys have never visited. But before we get into this interview, what I want to do is I want to acknowledge my co-host, my ride or die. You know, I've been in a longer relationship with her than hell anybody at this point when I think about it. And so she is the first lady of sports. Roz, what's good, Roz?
Hey, how y'all doing out there? Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody.
All right.
So listen, let's go and jump right into it. Yeah, we all dreaded up. We all got our little lots going. So let's go on and jump right into it. Because again, we have our way across the water, Gounzman from Trinidad and Tobago. So welcome, my brother. How you doing? How you doing? Can you hear us?
I think he still has that little delay.
You hear me?
Yeah, we got you. How you doing? What's going on?
Anybody?
You know what? We're gonna get that together.
Yeah, we might just have to record it and do it next
I got to get the show moving. I got to keep it moving. I hate that we were not able to really hold the conversation with this brother again. But what I can do, is at least play this brother's music, and we'll come back and try to work out a way to do this interview again for you guys that are watching. We're trying to have an interview with the gospel artist Gounzman from Trinidad and Tobago, but I can't do that. The connection is bad, so we're going to keep the show moving. So listen, here's what we got to talk about today. West Virginia transgender athlete bill signed by governor. They are the latest of a couple of states who have now signed into law transgender laws, which prohibit basically men who now relate as females from participating in not only middle school events. This is also high school as well as college events. We're also going to speak about Chad Ochocinco, fan shame Chad Johnson after telling daughter to get a job to buy expensive shoes. I guess apparently we live in a era where we can't tell our children they need to work for the shit that they want, Roz. And so I guess it's no different. Even if you got money, apparently folks think that just because you got money, that means you're supposed to take care of your damn children like that, without teaching them how to work for what they want. And then lastly, man, we're going to jump into Lesley Jones called men and women cowards for ghosting. This one is a new one for me. I've never really understood, and I had to literally Google the term ghosting to find out what it was. So, you know, they just go to show how old we are, where now they got new terms for shit that I really didn't know about. Listen, we're going to try one more time to bring in Gounzman all the way from Trinidad and Tobago because, first and foremost, they paid their money. And I want to give them their money's worth. And so we're going to try to bring them back in. And we cannot do that. We'll just have to find another way to record this conversation and play it on the next show. Let me add them guys back. Hello. Welcome back. Can you guys?
Yeah. Where going?
Yo, can you guys hear us?
Yeah, hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I ain't hear you. I ain't hear you.
Okay. So what we're gonna do is
I know hear you. I know hear you, man.
Okay, you can hear us. Okay, so great. So again, thank you for joining the show. So just let everybody know a little bit about you.
Right. Well, my name is Gounzman. I'm from Trinidad and Tobago. I sing reggae music. I'm also on iTunes, iTunes, Spotify, Apple. You know what I'm saying? My tunes is out there. It's Gons on Instagram. It's Gounzman D Man on Instagram. Right.
Right.
My management, as you all know, Energize Corp. You know what I mean? Big respect to each and everyone out there. I'm hoping to God to reach out there.
Okay, so listen. I do have a song lined up that I'm going to play, which is Judgment. That is your latest single, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
So
Yeah.
this is what we're going to do. I'm going to play Judgment. After I play Judgment, then I'm going to get back into the interview with you. How about that?
All right, fair enough.
Okay, so listen, everybody who's watching right now, this is Conscious Reggae Artist Gounzman, and his latest song is Judgment. And so I'm going to play it for you guys, and then hopefully you like it. And we're going to get back into the interview.
All right.
So let me share the video.
I'm outside. Damn! Yeah, my name is Gounzman, and I've been warning them outside, God. I don't deal with violence, but the Lord thy God give commandments. Your judgment is set. About, hey, about, hey. Judgment come, there's nowhere you can run. I was warning them all along. They are wise but still playing dumb. Lightning and thunder. Judgment come, there's nowhere you can run. Are you killing with those guns? Are you feeling life is a fun? Oh! Hey, send the lightning up in them brain. Goodness in them soul mouse. I miss sustain calling a God name in the college in vain. But we keep on doing this, they would let them go pay in vain. No mouse, I gotta make no complaint. What the blood stain flashing out on the lane. Those with the guns and the field them no tame. Life is not no game. Oh wow, I see the things moving. Our wicked corrupted and proving the devil is moving on the little one son. And even them a judgment gone, but judgment come. There's nowhere you can run. I was warning them all along, but I'm still like a playing dumb. I put them see, but them blind, my son. Know the right from the judgment wrong. Oh, damn mouse, I make me strong. And this, hey. Teaching the guy to you to be in school, righteousness alone. Well, it root past please and thank you when somebody gives something unto you, son. Etiquette, allow, let me show you how it's done. Respect your parents to the damn thing, son. God is watching all of the things what you done. If you know your wife or your playing, judgment come. Nowhere you can run. Gotta pay for the wrongs you've done. We were warning them all along. Hey. Omnis in my heart and soul. Oh, Christ alone in control. But some feel them big bad and bold. It's come. I see judgment it come. And the wicked try to run. The devil and the wanted getting born. Later I am by judgment come. But the evil try to run. I was warning them all along. Feeling wise but them playing dumb. Hey. Nuclear weaponing and a net eye. When them give explosion to give the get the youth destruction.
Hey, listen, that was Judgment by Gounzman. I'm loving it. I'm feeling it. So here's what I want to know. What is conscious reggae? Explain that to the people.
Let me explain this here. Conscious reggae is when you use the terms of the Bible and you put it in to a reggae rhythm. You understand me? Now, it's not dealing about my interpretation and your interpretation. It's dealing about the Bible. You understand where I'm coming from?
Right.
Righteous music. I believe that singing that kind of music, it can help heal the world with the pain that is going on right now. I believe. I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just for
Yeah.
So
us
I
to.
should listen to it is what it is, right?
Hmm.
Speak of God, what did you just say?
I said I
I
shouldn't be
think.
over here gyrating to it. That's like church music over here, right?
All right, okay, I'm taking that. All right, yeah, yes, right.
Okay. So here's what I want to know for you, for those that are watching who've never been to Trinidad and Tobago.
Mm-hmm.
Let us know a little bit about Trinidad and Tobago, because to be honest with you, a lot of us might not have ever been there. So, what is Trinidad and Tobago? Let us know the culture.
Hi, let me tell you about Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad and Tobago is one of the sweetest Caribbean islands that you will ever visit. We have, well, I know it's Corona time, so we locked down, but what I'm saying is this. Other than that, when coming to reggae music, calypso music, that kind of vibes in Trinidad is something that has been all the people in a big way, you know what I mean? It has
Right.
also helped it has also helped still the violence in the country, you know what I mean? And I had to give big respect to my management again and for those who helping out for me to edify the people within righteousness within this music because I had to pick up this same station on Truth Youth Radio, real big, because all he plays is conscious music. You understand me? Now,
Hmm.
the studio that I am from, which is Cruise Life Studio, is a very big studio also. That's the studio that I representing right now because it's only righteousness come from that studio. We don't sing profanity. We don't sing about, things that show you off. We just try to edify the loved ones, the youths and them, granny and mommy can put on my tune any time of the morning, any time of the night. It is radio friendly and it's a teach you about having morality about the self. Also to respect your elders, respect your mommy and the daddy, you know what I mean? That kind of way. Not about these violent things that taking place. I am not for that. No how, no, I'm not for violence.
Gotcha. Well, first and foremost, let me say I commend you. Anytime you can use music for
That's country.
the purpose, consciousness, and morality is a great thing. And so
Mm-hmm.
I want to thank you for exposing me because until I heard your music, I didn't know anything about
All right.
conscious
All
reggae.
right. All right. But what?
So
I have to give God, I have to give the Almighty God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob praises and his only begotten Son Christ that given us the victory. You understand me? Now, I give thanks to both of you all also because look how far I am. And I am talking to you all, and this is something big for me, real big. I ain't talking to this like a Grammy Awards. Excuse me. Excuse me. You know what I mean? I
yeah,
really
listen,
appreciate it. I appreciate it 100%. My management, I appreciate him 100% because I believe that nothing doesn't happen before its time and everything that's happened for a reason. You know what I mean?
right. Well, first and foremost, let me also say that you too, being our way in Trinidad and Tobago, is our largest guest. I have interviewed all type of people
All right.
from all walks of life, and we
Mm-hmm.
are global. And so,
Yeah.
to have you as well to grace our platform, and it gives us an ability as well to give you giving us exposure. We are just a little small radio show. And
But
so
you,
it's also a big thing, and it's a notch under our belt as well.
now, in over there where you all is, it might be that with you, but over here where I am, it's something very big,
Mm,
very big. Yeah, it's something huge because, all right, for instance, right now we control back at Star Point. They wouldn't back us 100% like in that way. They will more pay attention to us if we come out there and we come back home. That when they will pay attention to us. You know what I mean? Now,
right.
if every music on a mainstream over there and playing over there, yeah, they will acknowledge something like that and they will let me know, all right, Gounzman playing on mainstream over there, y'all are looking for Gounzman thing, it'll be some big, you know what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
reaching out by you, performing out there by you, interacting with the people, getting advice, building a relationship with you all out there, you know what I mean? When you do come back home and you start to post things that what you did out there on the books, it automatically send it to the brain, yeah, this is something big on the gongs, man. But we home there, we giving them it, and like, I don't understand why it is they're not playing righteous music. Oh, or they could be playing music with shooting. God, this is mad. This is my broken up people. Forgive me. This is madness. No, no, no. I don't support those things. I support righteousness. Now, listen to me. One of the biggest questions for the Lord I God to ask you when He come is, what did you do in my name all this time you were living on the land? What did you do?
Oh,
Who did you teach? Who did you show? Who did you guide? Who did you bring to me? If this is to save your life, what did you do in my name? This is something serious.
right.
You
And
understand?
and and like I said, man, I definitely appreciate it. You know, in a world where we're in the middle of a pandemic, um, police brutality,
Mm-hmm.
racism. I mean, you name
Mm-hmm.
it, with everything that's going on in the world, regardless of the genre of music, be it
Mm-hmm.
conscious rap music, reggae, R&B, whatever you want to call it. You know, again, it's always refreshing to have a different take.
Um, before we go further, I really like to say something too. Um, I do attribute to the guy called DMX. That is my favorite rap artist. I love DMX to all as Lord Father. God forgive me for getting on like these people, but I really love DMX music. I did a little tribute to him too. You understand where I'm coming from? I just
Hmm.
see rap, Jed. Rap is not something to it. Which I love rap. You know what I mean? It's not about the violence. You don't have to sing about violence in rap. It's what you bring forth to the people, you know what I mean? But I can sing a million tune off a rap for you and all will be of the Bible. All will be
Right.
teaching people how to survive within righteousness, law, statute, and commandments. You know what I mean? That kind of way.
Gotcha. Well, listen. Um, Thank you so much for taking out the time to visit with us. We appreciate
Very
you
thankful.
for because if I'm not mistaken, it's like 1 o'clock there, right? 12.
Yeah.
What time is it?
Yeah, it's about 1 o'clock down there. Man, what's that? Is that 3:30 down here?
3:30.
Okay, gotcha. So again, listen. It warms my heart um, to again to interview you. Um, Anytime you want me to play any music, you are more than welcome to
Mm-hmm.
send it to me.
Yeah,
We
man.
will always be family here on the Petty Crew. Um, and so again, let everybody know where they can find you.
I would like to also take the time to big up DJ QB. You know what I mean? DJ QB are really huge, large up, you know what I mean? Big up Energize Core and management. Respect to each and everyone. Big respect to you all also. Big respect with much love and everything manners, everything, you know what I mean? I give thanks for you all giving me the time to be on your show. I really give thanks. I give thanks.
No problem. And where can we find your Instagram?
Now you could go on Instagram as with Gongsman D Man and you'll get all my tunes. You will get, even if you go on YouTube and you type in Gongsman, you will get a lot of tunes how I start up now. Old tunes, there are a lot of old tunes, there are a lot of videos, a lot of live performance on iTunes, on Apple, Spotify, I'm on
Mhm.
all those platforms.
Okay.
You know?
Well, thank you so much, and you have a good day.
And you too. You all keep good. I mean the Lord I God bless you all at all times, all times.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
He was good. I like that. I've dabbled in a little bit of reggae. My thing, I like the beat of it, most of it, because I really can't understand half of the stuff that's being said unless
Uh
I
huh.
go to the lyrics. But their beats are awesome. I actually, and I hate that our connection was so bad. Maybe in a couple of weeks he can come back and do something. But he has a song on YouTube called "Mother Earth is Crying," and the
Mm-hmm.
lyrics are just awesome in that song. I may reach out to him and ask him about it, but he has some good stuff out there. So if you're into reggae, I know we have a couple of reggae clubs here in the DFW area. So if you're into that, maybe you can go to the club and request a couple of his songs so he can get circulated over here. I've listened to a couple of them since you posted the link, and pretty good. And like I said, I'm mostly for the beat. And then I just when I saw the title of Mother Earth is Crying, I went and looked up the lyrics. It's real good. I love the fact that he does conscious music also. And of
Right.
course, would love to get over there to meet him any day
Yeah.
because it's Trinidad and Tobago.
Right. And like I said, I was made aware myself. I believe either Thursday or it was Friday because I was listening to the lyrics as well. Again, if your ear is not tuned to listening to reggae all the time, it is kind of hard to listen to the words. I
Yeah.
mean, let's be real, because if you're not a connoisseur of reggae music, you have to learn that language in music. And
Right,
so,
and I'm not, and I'll be the first to say it. I'm there for the beat. It's the boom, and I'm over here. And then
right,
he was like, "It's conscious." Now I got to stop because he's thinking about the Lord, so I'm out. But listening to the words of it, I just went to lyrics and pulled them up, and there. I mean, he got some good lyrics, and I'm not a reggae connoisseur, so half of it I'm about two lines behind
right. Just trying to
every
get
time.
it. And again, hey, that's the whole purpose of this show, exposing our audience to just different things in general. One thing I think we as African Americans or Black folks forget is that our blood and history is just not here in the United States. It is in the Caribbean. It is in the Bahamas. It's in Trinidad and Tobago, Brazil. You get what I'm saying? And so,
Right.
sometimes it's just good to expand our horizon because, gospel wasn't only music. We just know gospel, R&B, rap. And so, like
Right.
I say, man, I'm definitely glad to have that brother on as well. Shout out to Energized Management Group. Listen, that brother got Energized Clothing Company, Energized, management company. And so just shout out to them in general. But listen, let's go and keep it moving.
Before we go further, I'm sorry to interject. On Saturday, we had our general conference to where the Purple House. I got to shout out to my people because we brought home some stuff over the weekend, even though it was virtual.
Uh-huh.
So we brought home a scholarship that was awarded to a Texas recipient. We had the most members to register. We also had the most new attendees, and we won 2019-2020 Queens contest. And if you don't know what that is, for the people that's not involved, is we raise money for scholarships that are given out. So kudos to the Purple House, the country of Texas, as we say, for bringing all those things home. Proud of each and one of you ladies. I mean, they had to jump because it was the competitors out there. Yesterday on the virtual call, because everything is so new to us,
Mhm.
we had over 379 people during this during
Oh
this call
wow.
yesterday on Zoom, and it started at 9 o'clock our time and ended about 3 o'clock. We hung in there. The reports and everything else very informative. You got to see people that normally we don't see until we get to conventions and stuff like
Right.
that. So just a great job for Texas. Kudos to you ladies.
Well, listen, yeah, shout out to the ladies of it's called let's make sure we correct that for those that don't know what the Purple House is.
It's
I
the
know, but
ladies of the Circle of Perfection, Margaret A. McDowell, Grand Court, PHA jurisdiction.
there
Our
we go.
Grand Royal Perfect matron is R. Lucille Samuel. So shout out to her. She's normally listening. She may be tired. I know we had a long day yesterday, but
Right.
shout out to her for setting the precedents that we live up to every day.
Already, listen. Hey, shout out to you guys. I'm glad that you guys had a great conference. Uh, our conference. I guess if that's the word you want to use, it will be later on. This year, and so definitely looking forward to that. How it's going to kind of play out in the middle of this COVID pandemic. So again, shout out to You lovely ladies. Yeah, shout out to R. Lucille Samuel. She is, I believe, the president of the Petty Crew fan club. Uh, brother Jarak is the vice president. So shout out to the brothers and sisters who support this show, who support their brothers and sisters. So I love you guys to death. So with that being said, so let's go and jump into the rest of this show. We're not going to keep you long. I know it's Sunday. You probably want to eat some good food, watch some basketball. It's basketball season, but we got to talk about a couple of things. For you guys that already know, we have been talking about for the last maybe 2 years, 3 years now, and following what has been going on with this transgender athlete movement. I myself am a athlete. Roz is a fan of athletics, and so with that being said, we want to hold this conversation about it. The latest state to have passed the bill regarding transgender athletes is West Virginia. And so the governor of West Virginia signed a bill this past Wednesday that bans transgender athletes from competing in the female sports in middle school, high school, and college. Roz, let me know your thoughts about that.
I'm all for it. Because it's still not equal. I mean, it's and that's the thing of it that like back when we first did this story a couple of years ago, the thing was you had a guy that was playing sports, and I believe it was track, and he never won in his heats against men of his same build, same athleticism. But once he transferred over to the women's side, he started bringing in titles. Right. And I'm not saying that he's, that the women are not competitive, but there's a reason why the sports are broken up. You have a men this and a women this. You have a men that and a women this. It's because men are physically more dominant than women. And I think that it's an advantage when they cross over and start running into the women's section. Me personally, I'm not athletics. I just love to watch them, and it's just a disadvantage from the women who's been training for this, who's been prepping for this their whole lives, for someone to come in and just take it from them from the opposite sex. That's just my personal view. Kudos to West Virginia for signing that bill. I'm absolutely for it. And reading the story, of course, you get the other side. You're gonna, they're saying that they don't want to hold competitions there anymore. They don't want to. It's like you're singling people out. Well, no, that's not the case. It's they came in and changed the rules for the people that are already there, that had started this, that have been prepping for this, and then because you wasn't winning on continue to run as a man.
Right.
Continue to set that precedence. The first transgender to continue to compete in the male competition and win. Why don't you set that one instead of coming over just because this is what you identify as? And I have a whole nother issue with the whole identify thing. So let me just step away from that part before we hate male. So let me.
Right. Listen.
Because once I saw on my application a binary box, I about lost it. Yes, well, that's a whole nother binary. So you're not male or female, because if God made another organ, I need to know about it. I need to see it for myself and probably need to put it in use. Yes, binary. You don't identify as male and you don't identify as female. I don't understand it.
Well, okay, so let's touch on that real quick, and then I'm gonna keep it moving. So I don't know if you remember, but maybe a couple of years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, we did a show about, remember over there in Britain, they were having schools that were teaching children to not identify one way or the other. They weren't telling them that they wasn't girls or boys, but they were teaching in a way that circumvented the whole gender specific thing.
We're gonna put a pin in that because it's a great story out there on Facebook of a father here in Texas, I think here locally, that went to the school board when they were having their meeting because they were teaching his kids outside of what they should the moral morality of it. And he had a lot to say. So I think that's a good story to pin so we can bring up all views and even get some more people to participate. But that's just my thing. To me, I don't care if you identify male, female, whatever it is, but it's going to always be two boxes: male, female. That there's nobody male, either you stand up or you sit down.
Right.
There's no other box, from
Right.
in my opinion, unless somebody else can bring some scientific studies to where I can look at it and it's a whole nother organ. You stand up or you sit down. What you call yourself once you walk out the room, Miss Ma'am, Miss, not my problem.
Right. And like I said, man, I always have to say first and foremost, we are in no way attempting to bash, belittle, shame, and any other adjective you want to use to make people feel some type of way. Now, at the end of the day, this is the Petty Crew Radio Show. We don't care one way or the other what you think, but I just want to put it out there, because again, you go always get that backlash when we walk on these subjects of the LGBT and their strides for what they feel are progressive. I'm going to also add with you, Roz, because I do agree. Listen, I don't agree with conservatives that often. I don't. On this, though, I will agree. I am with you, Roz, 100% that, because I don't care what you identify as.
Right.
We don't care. Let's make that clear. We do not care what you identify as. But when you're attempting to use that to your benefit, and in this case, compete with girls, biological girls, who scientifically, biologically are inferior to a boy who identifies as a girl. I agree with it 100%. And just like you, I read the article. I see how the NCAA had moved one competition out of North Carolina, and but you have to understand, like you said, this was already created before you tried to force something on girls. On one hand, y'all would say that a woman has the right to choose, because here comes the hypocrisy. See, it's always some hypocrisy when you get to trying to take too many sides, because the hypocrisy would be the same as the NAA taking a stance and saying, well, behind women and their right to choose, right? And then the hypocrisy coming in there is that now you're mad because women are saying we do not want to compete against biological men who identify as girls.
Right.
Where the hypocrisy come in there, because at the end of the day, on one hand, you support an issue that has everything to do with biological women, because a transgender woman don't have the right to choose.
Right.
But then on the other hand, you would then say, well, we hate that, these states are doing this. And so, again, it's one of those things that, like you said, and I've said it before on this show too, you want to make a difference and you really want to, rewrite history, be the man as a transgender woman.
Right. I mean, because to me, you're still a man. I mean, you may identify as a woman, and that's fine. And just like you said, I'm not here to judge you. I mean, people can judge me all day. That's your opinion on it, and you may have it. Just like I can have mine. You can send me a little hate text or whatever you feel like doing. But at the end of the day, this is me. If my daughter has trained for this and this and that, and then just because this particular person decided, hey, I'm a woman now, so I'm going to start competing in women things. You're still physically dominant. That's why there's a split in sports.
Yep.
I mean, that's why if you play golf, the male tee is back, the female tee is up front. When you run track, that's why the little hurdles are lowered for the women and higher for the men. It's a reason why those things have to happen, because physically, the anatomy of when we're put together, and I feel like women can do everything. That's just what it is. But the anatomy, don't do that because that's a whole nother show. The anatomy, men are stronger than women. And
Right.
I cannot refute that. I cannot, I can't do anything about it but accept it. Right? So you can't come over into this lane and decide, well, this is what I'm gonna do because now I identify as a woman. But technically you're not. If we just want to get down to the technicalities of it, technically you're not. This is what you identify as. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with the LGBT community, besides the fact that I've read some of their definitions and I don't understand them. So maybe somebody can reach out to me and explain. Have really, after you get past the L and the G, I need help. But outside of that, I just don't feel it's fair for him to come in and dominate the women's sport. And that's
Right.
my part on it.
And again, some people, might have a difference of opinion, and it's about being fair and whatever you want to use. Again, on this show, sadly, we just disagree with that. I'm 100% behind any state that decides to take a stance and say, you know what, regardless of whatever you relate yourself to, you're still a boy and you're going to need to compete with men again. Because let's not act like people don't take advantage of stuff.
Right.
In the case with Connecticut and those young black men who were running as boys for all those years, and when they decided to just say, you know what, I want to go over to the transgender route, they all of a sudden started winning. That was the most selfish thing that they could have done when you think about it. And not only was it selfish, you did it for the attention. You did it to finally feel like you're winning. You did it because you knew, and they don't have to admit it, but you are more physically fit, stronger than the average woman. And so now again, you have all these men who are breaking these female records. And my thing is, if you go do it in track, why not do it in basketball? This is how you know it's bullshit. And we're gonna keep it moving. I'm gonna show you how you know it's bullshit. Because if it was real, why not go over to females basketball?
Right.
Why not go over to female softball? Why not go over to try out for the USA soccer team? You get what I'm saying? No, they choose to do it in sports where they know they are going to win. Wrestling. Of course, we're more physically fit. Of course. Track. Of course, we know. But why haven't it went over to basketball?
Transcended through those things. Right.
Why haven't they translated to volleyball? I mean, I could think of all type of sports, but you only limited yourself to track and wrestling. Those are the two main sports that I believe transgender men are going over to right now on any level. Track. Right. Because at the end of the day, they know they can dominate it and it becomes very physical. So with that said, man, listen, we don't want to harp on that long. Also, let's go on and keep it moving. I think we're going to talk about Big Lesley. Let's talk about, I don't want to call her Big Lesley, but let's talk about Lesley Jones. As I was telling Roz before the show, I never knew nothing about ghosting. And so we're going to talk about Lesley Jones. She had posted a comment on Instagram, and we're going to just dive into it for you guys that are watching. Listen, I hate that we came on late and we had issues at the beginning of the show, but please make sure you like and share today's show. We just finished talking about the governor of West Virginia who has signed in law prohibiting transgender men. In other words, men who relate as women from competing on middle school, high school, and college level female sports. Now we're talking about Lesley Jones, who created a stir behind her statement she made, and I believe last week. And I'm going to pull it up for you guys to see exactly what Lesley Jones has said. And we're going to jump into that conversation. For you guys that are watching, Roz, if you see it, Lesley Jones says, dudes and dudettes who ghost are coward. Maybe they think that if They don't respond. The whole thing just never happened. They do not have the courage to be honest, and their manners are poor. I think ghosting is one of the cruelest things you can do. Avoid someone because you don't want to tell them the truth. Leave someone hanging. It's so disrespectful of the other person's feelings. So there you have it. Dudes, dudettes who ghost are cowards. Maybe they think that if they don't respond, the whole thing just never happened. They do not have the courage to be honest, and their manners are poor. I think ghosting is one of the cruelest things you can do. Avoid someone because you don't want to tell them the truth. Leave someone hanging. It's so disrespectful of the other person's feelings. Again, since I'm being real polite today, ladies first. So let me, before you go, Rob, before you go, we got to give the definition of ghosting, because one thing, I learned about being in our organizations are words. If I ain't learned nothing else, it is about understanding the meaning of words. So with that being said, here is the definition of ghosting, because people have taken ghosting so many ways. You ask somebody what ghosting, they'll probably give you 50 million definitions. But here's the actual definition of ghosting. Ghosting is when someone you're dating ends the relationship by cutting off all communication without any explanation. And we're not talking about not getting the text back after one awkward okay Cupid date, but receiving the ultimate silent treatment after several dates or when you're in a committed relationship. So ghosting is just not responding to somebody who, you've just been having little casual conversations with. Ghosting is a situation where you're dating a man or a woman. Y'all were pretty much monogamous with each other, then been on several dates. Y'all spend quality time. And either him or her all of a sudden stop talking to you. That is the definition of ghosting. And then so that is what Lesley Jones was referring to about calling men and women cowards. So Raj, you got it. I got it, but I'm gonna let you have it.
Well, I have to admit that I've ghosted a couple of times, and it wasn't.
You ain't got to make no excuses for that shit.
It
What I
wasn't.
want to know is why did you ghost? You ain't even got to make no excuses. Why did you ghost?
I just didn't want to deal with it. I mean, just in all honesty, I just didn't want to deal with it. I didn't want to deal with the second part of the conversation of why. I didn't want to deal with. I mean, you know how conversations. I'm sure I've gotten ghosted. I mean, it's just, and I understand you didn't want to deal with it. Got it. But for me, it was just I didn't want to deal with the conversation. I just didn't want to deal with the, and it doesn't have to be a relationship. I mean, I heard the technical term, but
you didn't ghost. But Raj, you didn't ghost then. See, that's the thing. See, we can't make our own definition for words that already got a definition. So that's what I'm saying. So because that's what happened already. We can't make a definition for what has already been established. You should know that.
I'm having a flash. And the seat done got hot. Give me a second. No.
So what I'm asking is, and I think we kind of hit on this maybe about 2 or 3 years, because we kind of ran away, bring in stuff, but we never really addressed ghosting. And so this is what I'm gonna ask, because I think I asked you this before. And so now it's definitely relevant now. Were you in maybe a 2 or 3 month situation and you just said, you know what, I'm not even gonna respond anymore? Because this is what ghosting is.
Yes, it was.
So that's ghosting.
It was like we were vibing, and then stuff started to change, and then it was like, I'm good.
Okay, so
I was wrong.
I did something in there that wasn't added. It don't matter. You just left because for whatever reason, not that stuff changed. It was like, I'm just not talking. Because that's what ghosting is. It's like, in other words, for instance, if I'm dating a woman, right? And out of the blue, all of a sudden, I'm like, I mean, I know she cool, but I'm just not even gonna speak to her anymore. That's ghosting. Not like a negative situation. It don't have to be negative. It's just saying, you know what? I know I done had sex with her. We done went on about 5 or 6 dates. We done kicked it for about 2 or 3 months. And you know what? I just don't want to deal with her no more. So now I'm not even speaking to her anymore. That is ghosting.
Well, yes, I have been. And
Damn, Rob, what did you?
I know, and I never just said I was right for it. I just said I didn't. I mean, something shiny could have came along, and I was like, "Oh, okay, shinier, got it. I'm out." And just not. It could be a number of things. That was back in the what you just call it younger days.
Yes,
I
thank
mean,
you. 'Cause I hope you didn't wasn't gonna say what I
yeah,
thought
that could be younger days, but I did. I mean, and like I said, I've been ghosted before, so I can get it. But most of the time, it's because either something else has cut my teeth, and I just didn't want to deal with the other half of it, with this side, or like you said, which may not even be within the definitions, that I just woke up one morning and be like, yeah, I'm over it, like I'm good. It's sad, but I mean, it happened. Like
So
I said,
okay, so are you for it or are you against it? Like,
well, okay, so hindsight, you probably still need to have the conversation because once it happens to you, and then of course you take a whole nother turn on it. So, and I think the only question I had was like, you could have just texted me and told me I'm good. Like, we good. And that would have been it. And I would have been okay with that because I'm not the one to question. So, and I understand how some people in learning, when we get into stuff, how to deal with different personalities and how to deliver stuff and how to get people to buy in. I get it. But it was like I probably, now thinking about it, I probably could have came back and said something to that person. Hey, this is just not, I'm just not feeling it. It's not you. I'm sure it's 100% me, but it's just not going in the way that I think it should
right.
go, or I thought it was gonna go. Or I mean, it could be 101 reasons why I'm feeling this way, but as of now, I don't get it. Instead of having that person wonder, well, what did I do? Was it me? Are they still alive? I mean, because that, honestly, that was my thought. And like I
Mhm.
said, if I put myself out there, I'm just gonna go ahead and get hit by the bus. My thought was, because the last time I talked to this person, they was on a motorcycle going home. Didn't hear anything back from, like, nothing. So I'm like, did they get into an accident? Did they die? Did they,
Mm.
did something happen? I don't replay the conversation, even told best friend about it. And she was like, of course, because I'm always the person. What did you do? I, hands up to God. I promise it wasn't me. And I shouldn't even have to say it, but sometimes my personality, I have to give reasons. But it was, so on that part of it, it was like, so what happened? You know, did this person die? Was they in a bad car accident? Because we were talking on the way home while you were riding your bike. We were good. Saturday, I don't hear nothing. Sunday, Monday, actually by Sunday, I'm like, F it, I'm good. I'm done. Evidently something is going on with him and I'm out.
Mhm.
But everybody don't have that reasoning. I mean, you have some people that's so connected with their feelings that, I mean, that may be a pivotal point for them. They may go into depression behind it. So I get what she was saying, and it is a cowardly thing to do because you don't want to face whatever the other side looks like. I get it. But like I said, I admit I've done it and it's been done to me. I don't recommend it now, but I understand.
Okay, well, I don't know. Like I said, I don't want to use the word ghosting. Have I avoided chicks?
You ghosted. Yes.
That ain't ghosting.
You've
That ain't
been on
ghosting.
flower. You've been ghosted on flower. You don't
That
ghost.
ain't ghosting.
You
Have
don't
I
ghost.
have I avoided women? Yeah. I mean, I'd be lying. I think we've all avoided people.
Right.
Because that'd be a lie. Everybody in them probably did it at some point in life. So have I avoided someone? Yes. Have I ghosted by definition? No. Um, do I believe it's a cowardly thing to do in the context of what Lesley Jones is saying? And if you guys don't know who Lesley Jones is, she's a black female comedian. You can catch her on, I think, Saturday Night Live. She was on Ghostbusters. She's been on several shows. Matter of fact,
Was she on Orange is the New Black, or am I thinking about somebody else?
I think you think about somebody else, but she is on Coming to America. She's playing the mother to Eddie Murphy's son or whatever. Yeah, I have to say it. I mean, I have to think about it for a while. Good, we talk about this 2 weeks later because I did have to think about it because I'm like, well, is it rude? I think as an adult, yeah. Because what's the worst that's going to happen when you tell somebody, hey, I just no longer, want to be around. However that conversation goes, what's the worst could happen? I mean,
well, I've been watching.
Don't give me no crazy shit. Don't give me no crazy shit. I can be crazy.
I've been watching Fatal Attraction, and this
Yeah,
woman
I mean, and there's been stories, but
right. So that is the worst that can happen. It just depends on everything else. So yeah, that is it is the worst that can happen.
yeah, that's the worst. But that's a small percentage. That shit like point, 0.0000. That's a small percentage of something negative happened after telling somebody. I think what happened is, and this is, and we are a black show that always, and we talk about black relationships, and so I'm coming from a place of a black perspective as a black man looking at the dysfunction of black relationships. We just not in a position to do all this shit. And when new stuff come into the sphere of dating, it just continues to complicate stuff for me. It really does. It's no longer simply either we go date or not date. Either I like you or don't like you. Because if you at the end of the day you feel like you gotta ghost me, don't give me your number. See, that's my thing. If you're really not into it, let's not even create a situation that can put ourselves in a position where it's like, let me keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? Now, do you know how people are before you meet them? Of course you don't. But I think at our age, and I would hope that when people grow, not in just age, but in living and in maturity, you can have a conversation where, because I've had this to happen. I've received the text. That's why I said I've never been ghosted. I received the text saying, hey, listen, fuck it, I'm gonna be petty. I don't think, this is kind of gonna work, whatever, some along that line. And it was a text. And so I was like, okay, because I can respect somebody that says, hey, woo, 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 woo. I can respect that. Now, that don't have nothing to do with my response, but I can respect the fact that you gave me something that we can communicate.
Right.
So I respond, and I don't do text response on serious conversations. It's just not gonna happen. Because that's how, words can be read and then misinterpreted and confused, and then you got to pick up the phone anyway. So I picked up the phone and I contacted this young lady. This is a real ass story. And I said, well, hey, I read your message because this shit was a long message. It was long. And so I'm like, I ain't got time to be responding to no long ass message. I'm not going to do that. Let me just pick up the phone, call. I called this young lady. I said, hey, I read your message. I can't do nothing but respect it because I can't do nothing but respect it. I said, well, now, I just need the opportunity to respond and we can just go on and go our separate ways. So respect me enough to be able to respond to your statement. I end up telling them my thoughts and all that other stuff and never heard from her again. Matter of fact, the little basic broad deleted me from Facebook. Oh, you gotta be a basic, because listen, if me and you don't talk, or whatever the case may be, it don't go any further, I don't really have much invested in you in the first place, so I'm not feeling some type of way that I'm going to delete you from my Facebook page. You follow what I'm saying? You can ride with me and watch everything that I do. I'm not going to delete you because it wasn't even that serious. And so that's why I said I've never had ghosted. I can respect you if you are communicating in the same way. I'm going to do the same thing. Now, here was the backdrop behind this shit. Because I gotta be petty, because this is the Petty Crew Radio Show. And I said I'm never gonna talk about it, but since we talking about this shit today, I'm gonna talk about it. What I've learned, Roz, and I think me and you have relationship conversations all the time outside of this show. Mm-hmm. What I've come to learn, and I'm gonna say it on here, is that most, because I'm a black man, and I've said it to you, most women are basic as females. There are not many exceptional women. You know, I tell you all the time, I think you're an exceptional woman. I tell you that all the time just because of the way you think, how you move, how you operate, your ability to hold yourself accountable like you doing on the show. Hey, that I was wrong for that. You're not going to find too many women like that. In this case, with this situation, with this broad that sent me that text, this is what did it. That's why I say most women are basic. It started 3 days before. She sent me a picture. It was a game. She said, hey, it's by your text. I ain't always got to talk to your ass. So she sends me a text. Hey, would you like to play this game? I ain't doing shit. I'm sitting up in the bed chilling. I said, sure. The game was like 44 questions. And you basically pick a number. That number, of course, you read the picture and you answer that question.
Right.
So naturally, she gives me a number because, you know, I'm an open book. She gives me a number. The question was, and I don't mind saying it on this show, the question was, have you ever been in a threesome? That was the number out of 44 questions. Mm-hmm. That's the number she picked. And regardless of if I found it uncomfortable or not, I was honest in my answer. Because that's the whole purpose of playing this game. If you got to reading the damn questions, it didn't get any nicer. It didn't get any nicer. You get what I'm saying? So I answered the question. So now it's my turn. I forgot what the number was, but the question was, send a picture and you can't complain. And you have to do it. It was something like that. Send a picture, you know, whatever the person requests, and you can't say no. So really what I'm finding out through this game is who this young lady was. So then she responds, I don't take pictures like that. I don't do that. That's against my moral character. Now keep in mind, you started the game, which would mean you would have had to have read the damn questions before you sent me this damn picture.
Right.
So you would already know that the questions are it's going to get crazier.
Right. Right.
It's going to get crazier. So I asked a question, and all I asked this young lady, because you know I'm transparent here, all I asked her was, send me a sexy, like picture you in lingerie or something like that. No private part, nothing like that. Now keep in mind, I didn't tell you what to send me of you in it. Whatever your definition is of lingerie or whatever it is, that was it. No up, you know, no private, nothing like that. Do it. And the response was, I don't do that. But that's not what the game says.
Hey, can you send me that game?
Yeah, I'm gonna send it to you.
I'm gonna send it to somebody else.
Yeah, say. And you read the questions, you're gonna be like, well, damn. So what I did is, because when the minute she told me no, I was done with the game. So I politely responded and said, there's no point in playing this game if we're picking and choosing which questions we're gonna answer and not answer. Right. So I'm gonna respectfully, I don't want to play anymore. So she goes on. I'm like, listen, I told you I'm fine with your response. Because all I can do is respect your response because I'm already seeing where this is going. So if this question was uncomfortable, ain't no telling. And since now we're picking and choosing.
Right. Question number 26 gonna show get you.
Now, fast forward, I let that shit alone. Then I get the text about 2-3 days later. Hey, I think, but then I realized, like I told you, Roz, the problem was that what she wanted was a man that was going to continue and pick another number. And I'm not that nigga. Because now we're playing picking and choosing what we go answer, but that wasn't the game.
Right.
The game was 44 questions.
Right.
And you asked me. And so when she sent me that long ass text, you know, because you know, it just seemed like you know, you're gonna go back and forth. Now and I told her I said, listen, I'm not gonna be long. I said, well, now what I realized is that you want a fool. See, you were okay with me accepting the fact that you didn't want to play that game, or you can pick and choose. I said, I'm not that guy. I said, you never once asked me if the question you asked me was uncomfortable. I just answered the question. And that's what I mean by exceptional women. You get what I'm saying? You know, it was never about your morality. This is your game. It was about, could we be honest with each other? Because that's basically what the game is exposing. Can you be honest?
Right.
You know, can you be truthful? And so that's why I said, man, that's one thing I will tell you about you is that I commend you for that. That's why I said it wasn't a ghosting. I've never been there. I've had conversations where just like that, and we can keep it mutual and keep it moving.
Right.
I might not ever want to be friends with you. If we're friends on social media, that's nothing. We'll never talk again. And so, like I said, man, it's just one of those things where, you know, again, this whole ghosting, for some of y'all that have experienced it, you know, if you're watching, you know, I love your story about it. I can't say I've ghosted anybody, and I can't say I've been ghosted. I just think it's, as an adult, man, we just complicate shit. You know what I'm saying? Especially as black men and women, we complicating all this. Who came up with ghosting in the first place?
It's probably in a rap song.
It gotta be, because I was looking at the definition and I'm like, the definition come from a psychology page.
Yeah, I know. And when I looked it up, I think they said it started in like 2000. So it had to be like a rap song. Just, you know, just like say less fam, say more fam, pause. So it's something that came from probably a rap song. That's where I feel like all our extra language come from. So that's what I'm gonna go with, rap song.
But watch this. And I just went into this article where I got the definition from, because I didn't read the whole article. But there is there's some statistics. You know, we like to give numbers and proof behind shit.
Right.
So it says female ghosting habits. 20%, 26.67% women who have been ghosted. That's how many people that have been ghosted. Women who have ghosted, 24.17%. Women who have not experienced ghosting in any capacity, 23.33%. Women who have both ghosted and been ghosted, 25.83%. So there have been more women who've been ghosted than in any other category of it. Now let's go over to the men. Men who have been ghosted, 13.64%. So that means if we want to compare men and women, most men haven't been ghosted. Just by the numbers, if we go compare, you know, side by side. Men who have ghosted, 16.67%, versus women who ghosted at 24.17%. So women do most ghosting than men. Men who have not experienced ghosting in any capacity, 36.36%. Wow. So most men, again, it will go with the first one, men who have been ghosted. Of course, naturally, they would align being low. Then it says men who have both ghosted and been ghosted, 33.33. Goddamn, fellas, is looking bad. Let me say that again. Men who have been ghosted and been ghosted. So in other words, they did both. Men who have both ghosted and been ghosted, 33.33%. So it's a little bit higher for men than women. So those are everybody the numbers. So in putting this in perspective, most women do ghosting. I don't want to say what I want to say, but
let's not.
That just shows a lot of women. It goes back to what I said, Roz, and the numbers proving my shit, man. That most women are basic ass women, and I'm not trying to be negative toward women. And a woman could say the same thing, because at the end of the day, what is true across the board, regardless of men and women, most people are just not genuine people. That's just a fact. It is very rare to find genuine people. And so if you've been ghosted or you doing the ghosting, stop that shit. We are adults. Yeah, we are adults. Talk it out. If if it's that deep, just say something about it. If you want to be safe, because Roz got to go to the extreme on shit.
Well, yesterday I did. I watched a couple of episodes of Fatal Attractions. My bad.
Right. So if you want to be safe about it, just send an email or text. Ain't no harm, no foul. Keep it moving. We live in an age where a lot of times people don't care about your feelings,
Right. That is true.
and you got to be a big man and big woman,
To
to
accept
keep it
it and
moving.
move on. Right.
Right. So with that being said, we are winding up our show. So we're gonna jump into some sports. Raj, you are the first lady of sports, so why don't you introduce this story? Or did you read it?
I did. I read it and then I went and followed up on YouTube because he got a couple of more videos out there about him breaking down about different things. For
Hmm.
one, okay, so this is about Chad Ochocinco, and I don't have it pulled up. I thought I took a screenshot of it, but I didn't. So just to paraphrase, he went out on Twitter and give me 2 seconds. So he went out on Twitter, and him and his daughter, he posted a conversation that him and his daughter had about buying her some shoes. Here we go. About buying her some shoes. And the header says, why would you want your child to have to struggle? Fans shame Chad Ochocinco Johnson after he tells his daughter to get a job and buy expensive shoes. Chad, I'm just gonna call him Ochocinco. It's just
Hmm.
is trying to teach his fans a thing or two about parenting. On Saturday, April 24th, he shared a screenshot of a conversation he had with one of his daughters via text. He did not specify which daughter, but it showed that she texted him. Let me know when you go up to Token, Miami to get more shoes. I'ma love that. I'ma come with you because I want to get these Yeezys that they have. The former NFL player responded, you said you were getting a job. I worked at McDonald's by Edison to attain extra stuff I wanted for high school. His daughter seemed to have been thinking about getting a job and replied, when I finish school, I'm getting one. How I'm going to get a job and I have school and track practice to attend throughout the day. However, Johnson was not trying to hear it and insisted of showing sympathy for his daughter's busy schedule. He wrote back, I caught the bus to school, then went to football practice, caught the bus to McDonald's for a 6 hour shift while maintaining a 2.2 GPA, which I laughed at, being a star athlete. He captioned the tweet Parenting 101. Kids don't understand the sacrifices it takes. So it goes on about the story and backlash and all this, and that he's done this before.
Hmm.
But even before he put out there that he was playing, I agree with him. Just because you have money doesn't mean that you have to spoil your kids. And I think, and I know we said all the time, and me and my best friend just had a conversation about this. We have the notion that we always want to give our kids more than what we had, which is good. Kudos to you. But you also need to teach them responsibility, accountability, and how to handle money. It was okay for him to say, hey, why don't you get a job? You can just work on Sundays afternoon for 4 hours a day. There's no track on Sundays and there is no school on Sundays. Right now you're virtual, you're doing your classwork most of the time right then and there. I
Hmm.
ain't heard too many kids say anything about homework, and I understand track practice and I understand the toll. But if you can't do anything else, meaning to me that when I talk to you, you either at school or at track practice, I think you can go work at McDonald's for 2 hours on a Thursday, 4 hours on a Sunday. Yeah, your check may just be $60, but it's that hard earned $60 that you earn. So now you can go put that towards your Yeezys. And I may even put in the rest of it for you. But
Right.
it's accountability. And I saw the people on there. He's rich. He's this. He's that. Why would you want your child to struggle? She's not struggling because I'm sure she got more than one pair of Yeezys. I'm almost
You ain't
positive.
lying.
And notice she said shoes, not a shoe, but when you go get your shoes, like he
Right.
just not going to run out and get a single pair. He's going to get multiple. I want to go too because they got these new Yeezys that I want. And I'm sure she's just not going to walk in the store and be like, Yeezys, that's all we're here for. Can you just give me the box and I'll take them up there and be done with it? It's probably multiple pair. And I'm sure he take care of his kids. I haven't heard from any of his baby mamas, not that they know my personal number to call me and tell me, but nothing is out there that said he doesn't take care of his kids. So
Hmm.
the trolls that come on there, mind your kids. Figure out what you want to do with your kids and let him parent his kids how he see fit. On in the story it says he was just playing. He's, he trolls on social media, and even she said, well, they're just taking it too far because she knew she was going to get the shoes. He's probably just saying, hey, you do need a job. But from the point standpoint, yes, go get your job so you can understand the financial side of your purchase. I don't care how much money you make. You've seen Ti show his kids you need to work for this. I don't care if it is fake TV. At least they got some type of assumption of we need to start doing our own. Just like his kids that want to be rappers. He said, I don't set it up for them. If this is what you want to do, then you need to get out there and work for it.
Mm-hmm.
We can always give it to you and make it. I could have bought my daughter a car at 16. I didn't. You ain't doing nothing.
Right.
Go get a job. Go get an income, and I'll put the rest of it on it. But you got to show me something, because from a kid who was spoiled, who got their first car and wrecked it, and probably me and the car was probably on more punishments than the law allow.
Mm-hmm.
With the car, I done let it run out of gas. I done let it stop and sit on the side of the road while I called a ride home. Because to me, my mom and them would come and get it. It was nothing connected me to that car because I wasn't paying for it. So I get it 100%. I'm 100% for whoever want to teach their child accountability, especially when it comes to money.
Right. I agree to it too. And regardless if he was playing or not, the first thing I thought was mind your own children. That's one.
Right.
Two, y'all talking and you're probably broke. You don't have no money. So how you go tell another man what to do with his money? Because you probably don't have his money.
Right.
And so it's easy to try. It reminds me of a person who you take to the club who never have no money. And if they were buying drinks, they would buy them chef drink. But then the minute you ask them what they want the top shelf shit with your money. It's the same thing. You trying to tell me what to do with my money because you're not spending your money.
Right.
And so if you want my daughter to have that shit, like I tell anybody, we'll buy it for her. Shut up. Because if you ain't gonna pay for it, don't tell me what I need to pay for. As a parent as well, because we are parents on this show, you're absolutely right. Regardless of my financial situation, I'm not gonna give you nothing easy. I give you an example. It's funny we had this conversation. My daughter said, I want an iPhone. For you guys that know me, I just went from Android to Apple. Naturally, whatever rise. Naturally, my daughter sees that. She's like, I want an iPhone. Why you want an iPhone? You don't take pictures like that. Well, because my friends have FaceTime and they got Apple and all that. Woo, woo, woo. I said, oh, okay. I said, well, because I'm not going to just have to blue drop, $800, $1,200, $750. Because see, I price pause. The cheapest iPhone is running you still $600.
Still.
And so I didn't even spend that for my phone. I tell you all the time. I didn't spend all, and I got the newest one. I didn't even spend all that. And so I told her, this is what I want you to do. And my daughter's 14. I said, I'm going to put the same deal on the table I put my son on the table. Because I believe in rewarding your children for reaching goals.
Right.
You work for it, you get there, I got you. And if I say I got you, my word is bond. My word is solid. If I say I got you, you good. So I told my daughter, listen, by the summer or by school start, which is 3 months because we're going into the summer, they finna get out. School go start in August, September. I said, I need you on this level when it comes to money, writing, reading comprehension. That was like 3 things. I told her tutor, I need you to put together 3 or 4 categories. And her goal is to pass those sections 75 and above. Because I need her at the end of the day, that school shit is good, but I need you to be able to function outside of school. I need you to be able to count money. I need you to be able to do things that's going to allow you to function. And so we're going to put something together in which we're going to set a goal. Because I'm just not going to hand you over, damn near $1,000 phone. You have lost your mind. And so she said, well, okay. I told her, you reach that goal. That day, we will go get that shit. No questions asked. No question. I ain't got It don't matter if I got it or not. I said I was gonna do it. You reach that goal, you obtain that goal. So now I'm giving my daughter something to work for.
Right.
Because again, we've been taught ain't nothing in life is gonna come cheap. And you're gonna have to work for it. And so I agree with Chad Ochocinco in the same thing. Now, I'm one of those who played sports in school and went to school. My parents were a little bit different. We couldn't work. We couldn't do school and sports. During school, that's a key word. During school year. But when the summer hit, your ass need to go find you a job. You go want things, you want to purchase stuff, you go want your own clothes, and I dress nice. I've always dressed nice. So you go want to buy those stuff. You go buy that. And back then, y'all probably catch me now switching outfits, but see, I wore nothing but loafers, button-up shirts, khaki pants. That was my everyday wear. On a Saturday, just to kick it, chilling, I wore some loafers, some khaki pants, and a collar shirt. That's how I dressed. I rarely had tennis shoes. I think I might have had maybe one pair of tennis shoes, literally. Mm-hmm. Everything else were loafers. And so my mama wasn't finna pay for that. My daddy wasn't finna afford that type of shit. Not that they could pay for it, but you want it, that's what you want to wear, that's what you get. It's the same concept. And so, yes, as a parent, you should be setting some type of goals or having them to work for what they want, because the world ain't finna give it to them. And like I said, I don't care if it was a joke. I don't care if he was trolling. And the third thing before we close, get out of here. Just because men and women, or you think men and women are rich, don't mean they got the money. So why even assume because he's played football, you've read his contracts and you see the money that on paper you think he got, how you know he got it?
And then on top of that is, if you watch any interview with him, he'll tell you he's very frugal when it comes to his spending habits. Like he was on the interview that was at the bottom of the show. He even said it then. He was like, because the man was like, well, you're well off or whatever. And he was like, how you know about my money? I'm not. He was like, I'm very frugal on what I spend and how I spend my money.
Right.
Like, he was like, I don't have a house here and I don't have a house there and I don't have a house over here. And the man, of course, brought up his, the cars or whatever. And he was like, and asked me, do I have those now? He said, impulse buys that I have since then traded in. So you can't, I'm very frugal when it comes to a lot of stuff. He was like, I don't do clubs. So you don't see me dropping 50 G's at clubs because I got an entourage of people with me. He was like, and then another video that I watched on YouTube, he was pretty much saying the same thing. He was like, people think that just because you have money, you're rich, you're this. He was like, I'm not rich. He said, the people that sign my check, they're rich. He was like, I'm not rich. I'm well off, which is totally different from rich. He's like, I'm not rich. And the guy was like, well, yeah, the billionaires. He was like, see, they're rich. I'm well off.
Right. A lot of people in the African American community really don't understand that. They don't get, because I don't get us sometimes, since we talk about money and all this and children and everything. I never understood people who was just giving their children everything. I used to hear it all the time. See, I had a car. My grandfather gave me a car when I was like 15.
Yeah.
And so, but my mama wouldn't let me drive my car. Like while kids were driving their cars to school, my shit sat in the driveway, literally.
You just watch it as you drive by.
It just because and my mother would be quick to say, I don't really care what everybody else doing. You heard that from a black mama. I don't really care about what everybody else doing. This is how it's gonna work. I don't care what everybody else get. This is how it's gonna work. Now at 42, I understand what my mother was doing, in which I try to teach my children. Don't be like everybody else. Don't follow the trends. Don't do that. And that's one thing that I will proudly be proud of, that, because I was never one, Back then for us, the Jordans that came out. Cause my mama ain't finna stand in no damn line anyway. Did she work for
Well,
them?
let me. Okay, so let me tell you about the Jordan story, and this is my
Oh shit.
my spar girl moment. So I have been in love with Michael Jordan forever. I was. I mean, I'm talking about middle school. At Sarah Zoom Walk, loving Michael Jordan. The summer before 8th grade, the black and white low tops came out.
Mm-hmm.
Black, white, and red low tops came out, and I had to have them. Like to the point to where I was like, well, then I can't go to school on the first day because those shoes match my first day of school outfit.
What? Don't tell me you missed school.
No, I got my Jordans, but that's because my daddy went and got them. Because she said, "You better put on that damn outfit and sit on the porch." But you're gonna be out my house on the first.
Oh, what? So let me get this straight. So your daddy didn't wait in the line, did he?
No, he didn't wait. You know, back then it wasn't a whole. We didn't do a whole lot
Right,
of lines
right.
back
Okay,
in 8th
so
grade.
but I
But yeah,
think that,
he got
I
them
think
for
it's different
me
though.
before school started. But my mom was the same way. I wasn't allowed to work all through, from high school or whatever until the summer. And I mean not even like during the summer, like the summer after I graduated. But even like in high school when you got the internship,
Mm-hmm.
where you go to school, then you get out by
Right,
1 or 2, then you get to go to work because the school got you a job in the
right.
field that it was in or whatever. She let me do that, but let me tell you how much paperwork those people had to provide her to say this is something that our school has always done. This is what she was just adamant against not working while you were in school. So she bought everything or whatever. And then I'm a daddy's girl. Then he just it was okay. I'm his only child. He didn't want to argue because we would have had to
Well, but
argue.
I think that's a little bit different. I mean, I think it's different when you are being taught something when you're being instilled something. I'm talking
Yeah.
about where the ideal of I just dress my child up and I'm not teaching them shit. I'm
Right.
not
No,
I'm
no, no,
not
no, no.
giving them nothing. My son looks. I've always been good on my children. I tell people all the time. I didn't know nothing about layaway, and we're talking about when I had 3 or 4 children. So when I go to the mall, I'm dropping out money. We ain't talking about because if I bought a shirt, I had to buy some shorts. And so if I bought this, I had to buy that. And if I bought this one some shoes, I had to get them some shoes. And so they didn't walk out of the mall with just a t-shirt and some shorts, a collar shirt and some pants. No, they all had clothes each.
Right.
So, but at the same time, I was teaching them because it's one thing if you provide for your children while they're growing up. It's another
Right.
when they get to an age where you got to teach them now. Okay, you got to work for something. And I'm
Right.
sure when he's talking about his daughter and to his daughter, he's saying, "Hey, okay, I know I can probably get these Yeezys, but you still need to make sure you got
Right.
a job and you can work for your own." And that's what I'm talking about. One thing I stopped doing my children, and they can tell your ass. And I tell this story all the time. I took them to the fair one year. All of them. We left. I said, "Hey, did y'all enjoy the fair?" And when my daughter opened her mouth and said, "Well, but I immediately stopped that car on Malcolm X in the street and looked at her, and I was pissed because I realized my children had started becoming spoiled. They were so used to being with me and getting everything because I bought my kids Jordans.
Yeah.
I bought them that stuff. They dress nice. They did it. They know when they came with daddy, we into something. We know we
Right.
going somewhere. We know he finna spend some money. We finna do something. It's fun time with daddy. And when I heard my daughter say that, I knew then it was time to switch the game.
Right.
You
Yeah.
gonna tell me I done spend all this goddamn money, and if you've ever been to the fair, you know it costs money. First of all, it costs money to get into the fair, let alone spend 4 or 5 hours.
You don't stop spending money until you go to sleep.
That's
Going to
right.
the fair.
So it's easy for you with you 3 I'm gonna say 3 or 4 kids. I don't care if it's your husband, whatever it is, the combination. 4 folks, you're gonna spend no less than at least 500 or 600
Minimal.
minimum. You
Right.
go want to eat. You go want to play games. You want to get on rides. You might want some memorabilia. You know, you go get your corny dogs. You go eat your turkey leg. You're gonna have an experience there. And when my daughter said that shit, I said I gotta change the game up and literally change the game. For now, when they came with me, what we doing? Nothing. Y'all finna play with each other. I bought some board games because
Right.
my children didn't. They started not to appreciate what I was doing for them. It became that's what we
Second
got.
hand. Right.
Yes, that's what it was. And so now I was like, you know what? Oh shit, I gotta teach them. It don't work like that. Let me show them that you know what I have to work to do what I'm doing for you guys. And at the end of the day, you know, you can parent your children and do whatever how you want to. I'm not saying that I'm not a Jordan fan. I do wear Jordan. I just don't wear the Jordans y'all wear. I wear nice clothes. I just don't wear the ones y'all wear. That's all I'm saying. But my parents instilled something in me. If I want it, work for it. And so I think as black parents, you should do the same for your children. That's just my thought. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care if you can do it. At the end of the day, when they get on their own, you don't want them to get in a relationship with a man or woman and they expect that man or woman to do it because that's what my mama did.
Mm-hmm.
My mama treated me like a baby. So you go treat me like she spoiled me and made sure I was nice. And let's be real, Raj, you know it to be true. Let's not act like none of your homegirls ain't never run across some niggas who expected them to do it because they mama did it.
Right. Yes. Yes.
That's real. That
Right.
comes from a place where they was not instilled some shit. It's the
Right.
same concept because they grew up handed it to them. It was giving it to them. And again, just because you got it don't mean you got to spend it. We got that bad. What y'all don't know as I close out here, I look at us as a people and I see us in all this Gucci and all that shit. You go to a white neighborhood, they don't wear that shit. They ain't walking around with them purses. Now they might have an Escalade here and there, a Mercedes here and there, maybe. But the truth is that's far in between. And what I learned is that's just a professional thing. That ain't every average white person. I'm telling you from what I know.
And then most of them, what we don't understand as black people is that it's a write off for a whole lot of the stuff that they have. Because if they gonna spend their money, they getting their money back.
If you're a businessman and you're traveling and you got a car, you can put that shit on your taxes, your
Learning.
mileage, and your ride. 9
Right.
times out of 10, let me get the game with what these white folks do. They ain't paying for their car, they leasing it.
Mm-hmm.
Let me say it again. They ain't paying for their car, they're leasing their car. That's another point of the game that we don't get. And we got to get to a place where we understanding the game. Eddie Griffin said something a long time in the interview, way before Chad Johnson. He said, just because I got money don't mean I buy the most expensive wines. He said, you know where I get my wine from? From freaking Costco. With that being said, man, listen, want to thank everybody for chiming in, weighing in. Again, we want to thank our guests all the way from Trinidad and Tobago. We started out kind of rough, but eventually we got that together. Want to shout out to our viewers on Twitter. We be having a hot 3 to 10 viewers who get to watch us on there. We also want to shout out to our Instagram viewers. We now have the ability to stream live on Instagram, and so we want to thank you guys who we can't see the comments, but I know somebody's going to be watching from somewhere. So definitely want to thank you for that. Roz, before we get out here, let everybody know where they can find you.
Oh, here we're gonna do that again, huh? I'm on Facebook, Ross Robertson. I am on Instagram. I'm trying to put on my Instagram page. I don't even know where it is. I think it's Allure5907 on Instagram. I'll tag myself on the Petty Crew page, and then y'all can find me. I don't know. I just got Instagram. I'm not on there much.
Okay, apparently
I think I got about 3 pictures on there now.
Well, apparently Roz don't want no followers. I know we ain't major, but I mean, hey, somebody might be wanting to, follow you. I'm just trying to make us.
I know, but okay. So here I am. So I am Allure590. Is that right? Allure5907 on Instagram.
Gotcha.
Stop putting your eyes at me.
Thank you.
And then I would tag myself in the Petty Crew page. So if you're over there, you can see me.
Yeah,
I don't do social media. I just found out TikTok was an app. Didn't even know where it came from.
Lord, let's not even jump on TikTok and that thirst trap. But in any case, again, please go to the Petty Crew page on Facebook. Like us on Facebook. We are like at 7,000 followers on Facebook. Go to Twitter at the Petty Crew One, YouTube the Petty Crew. I'm really trying to get this YouTube built up, man. Get them subscribers. Yeah, we have followers, but you know, again, with social media, it's so hit and miss. But I do want to thank those people who are following us and who have liked us. That is very hard earned in this day and age where we are not celebrities. We are just average, everyday folks who have real jobs Monday through Friday.
Right.
And so again, we definitely thank you for that. You can also go to Twitter, Instagram, The Petty Crew. We're on all the social media pages. And again, thank you so much. Until next Sunday, we're out of here.